Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Two Moms and Some Labels. Two Moms and Some Labels is a platform for parents and caregivers caring for a child or an adult with a disability to come together in a shared space to commune, network, and just share and gain ideas on how to persevere through challenging times. My name is Brittany.
I'm Nicole.
And we are back. Oh my goodness. It's been a little minute and we're finally back. We're getting back into action. Um, you know, I had some things going on and I welcomed a new bundle of joy.
The
And
cutest, let me just tell you, the cutest little bundle of joy. A diva, of course.
yes, and just turned 3 months 2 days
Wow.
ago. So I've been taking the time to just kind of enjoy the time with her and my family. And I also had some challenges also in this pregnancy. So it caused for me to have to take a break and take a step away. And as a parent of a child with a disability, I know that we can all relate to needing to take a step back and take a break and we kind of try to figure out like what is that, what does that mean, what does that look like for us, because what in the world, how do we get a break, how do we get to step back
Right.
and do that? And so, now with 4 kids, it was definitely like, how am I going to take a step back and take a break? Who's going to help take care of Ayana? Like, how is this going to get done? But because basically I was on like a limited bed rest and Ayana's total care. So that was very difficult for me to actually really take a break. And the doctor was like, okay, you have to take a break. Like, how? Sir, I don't
Right.
know how I'm going to do this. My
Mhm.
child needs my help. Like, she has to have her diaper changed. She has to have feedings set up through her feeding tube. So it was
Bath time. Bath.
yeah, like it was like really impossible for me to actually physically take a break, but I had my significant other and he significantly took his place and did what he needed to do to help out, and was very grateful that I do have a partner that's able to, come in and help out, because a lot of us don't have the family member or someone to help us. So I'm very grateful that I was able to have my partner be able to help me to take care of things around the house. So that was
That's
a little bit of what I was doing during, our little hiatus. And now we're back and we are ready to just share all the things.
super excited to be back and congratulations on your bundle of joy. I could only imagine how scary that could be to be going through that, and then you're also facing with the challenges of, will my child have a disability, will I have another special needs child, all that, while the doctor's telling you don't stress, just lay down, everything's going to be okay. And then having a newborn and making sure they meet all their milestones. That's got to be like, I don't know, we have to do a whole nother video with that, you guys. This
Yes.
one right here, we definitely have to, because I'm sure a lot of parents with a special needs child, medically complex, that is older and then has younger siblings, I'm sure you're like, well, wait, you need to be doing this. Check, check. You're more cautious of making sure they meet those milestones and stuff. So, but congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, definitely that has been a challenge for me. And I feel like that's always been a challenge, but I don't know. For some reason, I feel like more now it's been more challenging for me to not look at my new baby and be like, okay, what? Hold on. Is this right? Is that right? Like, I feel almost like a new mom all over again. Like, I've never had a kid, but I also have had a kid that has special needs. So I'm like confused and I'm in between, like, okay, I don't know what is going on. Is she supposed to do this? Is she supposed to do that? I'm just kind of all over the place. And I think we definitely have to touch on that in another episode about
Yes, Of course.
self-diagnosing our children, because that is a real thing, and
Yes.
I'm very guilty of it. So that's definitely something that we are going to have to discuss.
Yeah. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to catch that episode, because that's something a lot of people are going to be able to relate to, I believe. So yeah.
Yes. And
Diagnosis.
then not even just only like the self-diagnosing, but also too learning new diagnoses for our children that already have medical complexities, or developmental disabilities. That's another thing I think that, we have to think about and deal with and learn how to handle that information when we receive it, because I know, I have received a couple new diagnoses for Ayana. And so I think that's something that we definitely have to talk about, because it can be challenging, for a lot of parents out there to understand how to take in that information, whether
Right.
it's positive, negative. You have to make it what you can make that information, and learn how to live and deal with that in a more positive light. So, that's something that we also have to touch on.
Yes, because learning to diagnose can be like a light bulb where you're like, oh, it all makes sense. Now I get it. Or it can be like, oh my goodness, how as a mom did I miss that? Wait a minute. How did we miss this? So it's kind of like just we got pretty much, since we've taken our break, we've gotten two new. One, I kind of was just like, that makes sense. Let's go ahead and jump on the resources. The other one, I was like, wait a minute, where did we miss something? But I think COVID kind of just messed a lot of things up as well. Not having the physical touch or being in the office with the doctors. I think a lot of things just kind of went under, and it's not even just it's with kids, period, and school wise, medically and everything like that. We see the numbers crazy increasing of referrals that, are going for outpatient therapies and stuff, especially speech and occupational, not as much physical, but definitely the occupational for the fine motor skills, and speech is just, so I know a lot of parents, so you guys, make sure you like and subscribe, because we will be talking about that, because I'm sure a lot of parents out there, even if your child is neurotypical, you probably have now received maybe a referral for some type of resources, or even now, are looking at getting an IEP and stuff. So,
Yeah, and even with like ABA, I feel like within the past 2 to 3 years that it has been like a major increase in need for ABA services. And so now, with anything, once you get an influx of people needing the services, then you don't have the ability to staff the need that you have. So it's been a great increase in ABA, and it's been waiting lists and just so hard to be able to staff families. It's been hard to even get an assessment done to be able to have the ABA services to begin with. Just trying to find, a neurodevelopmental doctor to do that assessment.
right,
That's been difficult as well. So,
right,
due to the lack of providers available in speech and OT, and all those different type of skill-based therapies, has just been really difficult, because we
mm,
just don't have enough providers in those fields for the amount of people that need the services. And even now, like I've been hearing about the adults saying that they, being diagnosed with autism, or saying they never knew they had it, or they knew they had it, but back then it just wasn't a thing.
wasn't a
So
thing, right?
yeah, so it's just been a crazy whirlwind of things going around. And like you said, I think the COVID period, it just kind of knocked things down, and then here we are.
Right. And I think that's something, just even talking to some of Lorenzo's therapists and other families, we're not in ABA therapy, but hearing about like what families have to go through to get into that and the waiting list. And it's like, oh, we'll do, because I'll say, try to get some clinics together, and the clinics will be like, well, does the child require in school, in home? I mean, it's so much like you have to know. And I'm just like, wow, it's a lot. So if you guys have or know of any ABA clinics, please comment them so we can reach out to them and interview them and see their waiting list and what insurance they take, because that's also something else as well. A lot of insurance changes, a lot of just things that are changing. So we're going to be definitely talking about that on some future episodes as well, discussing the big beautiful bill and then local changes statewide here in Florida that took place as of July 1st. So it's a lot going on in the community, as far even about the number of paras that in not just Florida but are being asked not to return.
Mm.
And if you are in self-contained classes or even in general education, a para is so important. I know it took us almost, let's see, the school year here starts in August. To get him, my son, a one-on-one para, it was like February. And, he's typically nonverbal, still needs very much assistance, has a very extensive IEP. And they're doing this new thing where they're pushing kids to general education. But then when you see every year, it's, oh, we're having to, we're removing 5 paras from this school. And it's like, huh? Like, make it make sense. So that's something that's big going on. The number of ESC teachers and paras that are being let go, not just here in Duval County or the state of Florida, but just all over with the changes to the budgets.
Yeah. And, just even talking about the budget changes and the July 1st laws that have went into effect also too, I think something important to mention and talk about is, the FEMA thing going around with the budget cuts for FEMA. We are in Florida and we are a hurricane state. So, it's so important to make sure that you have those disaster plans in place. And I know you can register for the special needs shelter. And you can also, go to the city website and see what resources that they have there for you to prepare. But I think more than ever now, making sure that you have all the things that you need for your family during this hurricane season is very critical to have those plans in place. And hurricane season runs from June till November, I believe that is the hurricane season. So please make sure that you are prepared for this hurricane season. And I think that's something else too. We should just talk about other city services available for families that have loved ones with special needs as well. So I think that'll be something that we can look into to talk about on a future episode. So make sure you like and subscribe. Okay.
Yeah. And then also, even with the hurricane readiness and all that kind of stuff, getting prepared, knowing, understanding more. We recently just moved, and my son is now older. So, you just want to make sure. So, a lot of things I read, go down to your local fire station, the neighborhood fire station, and just let them know, take your child there, let them know, like, hey, I have a special needs kid, we're surrounded by water, just so people can kind of be on the lookout. And they say, even if you're a caregiver of an adult person with dementia, you want to do that so people can be on the lookout, especially if you live around a lot of retention ponds. You want to know, you want people in the neighborhood. If we got to get back to that village, it takes a village. So, and definitely with hurricane season, but yeah, we can definitely do like an episode and just talk about getting prepared, even with the DME company.
And your medications for your child, those things like that. So we have so much to discuss, so much to talk about and catch up on. So many more, resources and things available for you all. So we are so excited to be able to continue, talking with you all and sharing all this information. And we want to make sure that you like and subscribe to Moms and Some Labels. Go to our YouTube channel, Spotify, and Facebook. And we are on there. Just like and subscribe to Moms and Some Labels. And make sure that you tune in for the next episode. So until then, we will see you all next time. Thank you.
Bye.